Well, today, Felix, let's start by talking about something called the Ruby Sun DNA. We have the Diamond Sun DNA, which is our 12-strand blueprint, but the Ruby Sun DNA is something somewhat different and has a different function. So there's a lot going on with this, and it's been coming up an awful lot over the last few months. So do you want to kick off with some information about that, or do you want me to give a short?
Yeah, we can. Well, I mean, we can both jump in and out of it. I think there's so much within the Ruby Sun DNA template that is quite amazing to unfold within. So the Ruby Sun is a 9 to 11 strand DNA template instead of the usual 12 strand, which is the Christos Diamond Sun. It is the Ruby Sun is comprised of, or the genetic line is comprised of an Orifeme race, which is a 24 strand to 48 strand blue ray being, and then a digressed reptilian 9 strand. And they basically went through a process of hybridization. And this is where both the soul that's taken on this template basically has a foot in both worlds.
Yeah.
And what the goal is of this is to realign or polarity integrate the extremes of polarity back to the 0 point field. So the extremes of the reptilian come back into alignment with the by utilizing the extreme love of the double diamond sun to integrate together as one. And this is a part of the bioregenesis program. This is a part to realign the digressed consciousness back into alignment with God. And basically, it gives us access into the reptilian collective consciousness and the reptilian mind, basically to rewire and reprogram that. Now, what comes with the reptilian mind is a lot of the artificial intelligence systems are created by the reptilian. So what this means is because we've got access to that side, they've got access to the good side as well.
Mm.
So we've got this mixed match of polarized consciousness that one side is trying to ruin the other side's chances, and the other side is trying to help the digress side back into alignment. So in reality, this creates such chaos in one's own mind. It feels like you're in a consistent conflict with yourself and your own thought forms when you're
Mm.
trying to progress forwards into a trajectory of light. You're met with a lot of conflicting thoughts and imagery and difficulties, challenges for you to kind of override, overcome, because a big portion of this reptilian mind doesn't want to be a part of the light. So they will pull out all the stops to block that.
Yeah, I think it's worth saying that when it was this template was originally put together, it was put together as a healing template to
Exactly.
heal the digressed reptilian, and a lot of the reptilian races were on board with it. It was part of it came in after the Nephilim Wars, and as part of the settlement, shall we say, of the Nephilim Wars, because there was a chunk of the reptilian race who were very aware of the digression in their template and were concerned about it. And they were stealing human DNA and creating Nephilim, hybrid reptilian human creatures. And it was hit and miss. And some of the results were horrendous, hence the Nephilim Wars. And it was agreed as part of the settlement after the Nephilim Wars that there would be an official hybridization program. And the Ruby Sun DNA came about as a result of that. So some of the reptilian races were on board with it, but there were other races, other aspects of the race who we call rebels, but they probably wouldn't call themselves that.
Mm.
They would say they were standing up for their own racial purity. Um, Very much objected to
Mm-hmm.
this Ruby Sun template and the fact that it was really trying to bring the digressed reptilian back into alignment with the Diamond Sun template.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't want that. So they actually went full out to make sure that the reptilian aspect of that template took control. So it went from a Ruby Sun template, and there are still people with Ruby Sun templates here on this planet who are not digressed, but there is a fallen, a huge fallen aspect to this template as well, isn't there?
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. And it's when we're kind of dealing with that digressed fallen aspect of the template is when we're really kind of battling with the extremes of polarity, the
Mm,
artificial intelligence currents, the implants. Oh my God, the implants. This is probably like
mm,
a massive portion of their plan is the implants of artificial consciousness that runs in reversal. So when you kind of come in and out of that, you've got this spiralized downward descension spiral of thought forms that are essentially creating um, the outlook on life that the world is meek, the world not meek, sorry, bleak, miserable.
mm.
Everything's going against you, and it's a case of kind of understanding that and overriding the sequence of where these implants anchor these thought forms in. So they use so many different tactical warfare strategies to kind of pull you out of alignment with love and
Yeah,
create a whole load of brain fog as well, whilst kind of engaging and going in and out of this. And you'll actually notice if you have got one of these templates, it really impacts your spiritual gifts and abilities because with the artificial currents, this creates a state and feeling of being completely unsafe and always in a state of hypervigilance, looking over your shoulder, um, and expecting the worst, basically. Which, when you're kind of going into using your psychic abilities, you want to be coming into a place of feeling completely safe, completely
mm,
secure, and recognizing the artificial nature of the frequencies that is and what it does to your physical form. So when these implants take effect, the artificial intelligence currents or the AI reversal currents that run through them will then shock the central nervous system into a state of threat. It's
yeah,
almost as it reminds me a little bit of like war torture or kind of
yeah.
like electro torture and things like that. So yeah, it's very interesting to unravel.
Yeah,
Mm,
and many of the indigos, so the starseed indigos, who have incarnated on the planet at this time, have deliberately taken on Ruby Sun templates
mm,
in order to heal, because it is a massive problem within humanity's template now. In order to heal this rift, and they are very severely targeted
mhm.
by the controllers, shall we say, here with all of the stuff that you're talking about. So,
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's not a small task at all that these star seeds have taken on here. It's like having an angel and the devil on your shoulder, and you've got to make the conscious decision that the angel is the one you're going to give
Mm,
precedence to. You acknowledge the devil. Yes, it's there. Yes, there may be these little thoughts, but actually you override and make the choice for the higher good rather than serving self.
yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean it is the templates are pretty rife, to be fair. And
Mm,
when the higher up you kind of go within the opening of the information, the more aggressive the attacks can become. However, when you kind of go up there, you're already kind of prepped and
yeah.
mature enough to kind of manage it. Because when you are kind of just starting out with the journey, a lot of this will be so painful that it will be contained within a field of numbness or presents
Mm,
as numbness because it's in order for you to function, there needs to be a way for you to kind of manage your
yeah.
life, and then this will sit as layers of a kind of amnesia and confusion when you kind of go into it, but the outer edge of it would be numb.
Yeah.
So you can still go about your day to day. However, you may experience more brain fog than usual. You may feel like ADHD. You may
Mm,
feel more skittish. And these are all kind of symptomatic of an unhealed Ruby Sun template.
yeah.
Now the good part of this is we are in a place where this template is evolving quite rapidly. And last year there was a cosmic correction for this template, which was the Cosmic Fathers Ruby Templar that came in and basically set the precedent through 2024 to go in and really dismantle a lot of AI technology with it, which would be like the implants, it would be the seal systems, it would be kind of mind control structures. And what happens within this is you start off by kind of not really understanding and not really knowing what's going on, to go through the phasing and processing and feeling of what does it feel like to be under scrutiny by an artificial frequency. The the artificial frequency. Sorry, I just need to download this. Here. So with the artificial frequency that is kind of messing around with the lower levels, I feel like my mind is just completely cut out then.
Yeah.
Just as I'm getting into the good stuff.
A wave of energy coming to shoot you off course.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, this is how it happens, folks.
Yeah. So we've got what was I saying just before that then? It was the
activation.
Yeah, so the activation of the Templar, as that comes in, this has then put us through a process of being able to identify an artificial current through 2024, understand the impacts and the cause and effect of the machineries and how it changes your perception of reality, to then coming through to the end point of 2024, so probably the last week of December. So from around Christmas time, this is when I kind of really felt this dial up a notch. And I will be talking about this in my energy report update at the end of this month, beginning of next month, is the reptilian-based DNA side of the hybridization was rapidly brought up to the surface to be able to see the behaviors, which then organically transmuted the attributes behind it. So the thought forms, we're looking at kind of like predatorial thought forms. We're looking at kind of service to self behaviors, all of these things that kind of circulate that we shame ourselves for and think we're really bad about having, is actually attributed to the reptilian-based DNA that is coming up into alignment to be released. And through this Ruby Templar update, this the Ruby Templar activation, this has basically recoded everything in one go. So over the course of about a week and a half, I found the reptilian behaviors were brought to the surface. I saw them, I recognized them. I know that this is not me. And then all the coding started to rewrite.
Okay. And I think that's an important point you made there. I know that this is not me. I mean, it's the conscious choice. You choose the Christos aspect of your template,
yes,
not the reptilian aspect.
Yes, absolutely.
And you make your commitment to that. You make your commitment to service to others, service to source.
Bang on.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, 100%. So this is actually dealing with the root chakra aspect of this, not the other chakra aspects. So the root chakra aspects will hold the cellular memory hard drives of the reptilian-based genetics, which will also have a standpoint for an anchoring of artificial intelligence frequencies. So you can imagine if you've got this artificial intelligence, this reptilian-based consciousness landlocked through your root chakra, which is your security center, that is anchoring artificial intelligence currents into it. This then fragments the root. This is what busts apart and falls the tree of life. It makes it fall from upright to the ground, basically. So with this rehabilitation process, that fallen tree comes back up, and you've got the repairing of the root system down to the core of the earth. So you've actually got your grounding tube rebuilding here. Now, if we follow that up to the top, well, not necessarily the top, but around the crown area, through the process of the weeks later, we've had a lot of the holographic inserts, artificial projections, um, and the red cube Nile system running from the crown that would also interlink with the root as well.
Yeah.
So it's now dealing with this part of the consciousness, the machine, not the consciousness, this part of the machinery that's impacting your consciousness that is starting to override your thought forms. It's a mind control system that is projecting digress thought forms, digress behaviors to try and synchronize up with the anchor point of the reptilian-based consciousness, reptilian-based DNA, in order to kind of control your system, basically. And if you fall into a line, if you fall into those behaviors again, this is how they control you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Woo. Well, there's a lot there to get your head around.
Yeah.
But yeah, as I said, it is you just make the choice, and once you've made the choice, then
Mhm.
okay, stuff will present, and you have to work your way through it, and etc. etc. But you just keep firm to your
Mhm.
alignment, and this we've now got everything on our side helping
Mhm.
to work this one out. So it's not
Yeah.
something to be afraid of, and there's always, as I said before, people like Felix to help you through it if you feel you need that.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, I mean, again, I think it's worth saying none of us, there's so much going on at the moment and so much that we're all doing and coping with. You know, don't be afraid to ask for help. We all need it. We all
Yeah.
need it. It's, yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. And what I will also say as well, focusing on building your root ruby ray, which rebuilds the ruby rod, and this ruby rod actually sits at the first dimensional field, the root chakra, the seventh chakra, and the 15th chakra,
Mm,
because all of these run down the masculine layers of consciousness, and
mm,
this ruby rod is the overrider to the artificial intelligence sequencing.
mm.
So that meditating on that is kind of prime, really,
Yeah.
to override the AI. So yeah,
Good stuff.
nice one. All right then. I'll leave the links down below. If you did like this, give us a like and a subscribe. Thank you so much. Lots of love.